Major hail risk for today, a very, very good likelihood for some large hailstones, not just isolated in one area, but in multiple areas. We are watching for these large hailstones, very large hailstones. Often don't show this risk. We talk more about the individual hazards, but I did want to show you today because we've got a very rare moderate risk highlighted here in red. So that does not happen very often. I think it's happened 3 times this year so far, and it's a level 4 on a scale of 5, and I wanted to show that. But we'll switch over to the hail risk now. Another pretty rare risk for hail. We often don't see this purple pop up in that hail risk at all. So this is also very, very significant and very telling that we have a lot of active weather today. Max hail size for today, softball size hail, yep, 3.5 inches. I think that's absolutely possible. Yesterday we saw 4 incher. So where exactly are we expecting those large hailstones? This would be, as I mentioned earlier, southeastern Missouri. We could see St. Louis kind of squeaking into that large hail zone right there, and to western Kentucky, and even into the far northwestern portion of Tennessee. I'm going to zoom down here so you can get a really good look of what cities are in the path of these large hailstones. I mentioned St. Louis is in the path here. Even Dallas. I mean, these storms stretch as far south as Texas today, and Dallas is in the path of those ping pong to golf ball size hailstones today. What about your likelihood here? Well, I put a level 2 down in Dallas, a moderate risk. Little Rock also level 2. But the highest risk that I think, the city that with the highest risk for storms today, I think will be anywhere from St. Louis to Indianapolis, maybe even down into Nashville. So those are the areas that we're expecting surefire areas to get storms today. What about your wind forecast? What we're seeing here are these, and you'll see this here in just a few minutes with our future radar. What we're seeing is that some of these lines of storms want to start to bow out, and what that means is that high wind is expected. So we could see high wind over 75 miles an hour. 80 miles an hour today I think is absolutely possible. Indianapolis to Nashville in the path of that high wind. So you've got that hail risk out here in Missouri and into southern Illinois. Then you see that wind risk kind of shifting over into Nashville and Indianapolis. What about that tornado risk? Well, it covers a very large area today, most of Kentucky, Indianapolis in that significant tornado risk, Nashville, Little Rock, all included in that risk today. That risk gets a lot lower whenever we go down to places like Dallas, Raleigh, Pittsburgh. But what I really want to talk about is this risk that's anywhere from Nashville to Indianapolis. It's a level 4 on a scale of 5. But the most impressive thing about this is going to be those hatched lines right here. What does that mean? What does a hatched risk mean? What does a hatched risk mean? It means strong to violent tornadoes. We're talking about EF2 or stronger tornadoes here, and this is a very large area that we could see that. So definitely something to keep an eye on today. Make sure that you have multiple ways to get